and say no, and you got to challenge it. And that's why I like neopopulism.org, because they do it all the time. Well, Tami, welcome.
Hi.
You're one of those Republicans running on the Republican ticket. So where are you running?
I'm running in Maplewood, North St. Paul, and Oakdale, and that's District 55.
Okay.
And yeah, I've grown up there. I grew up in Maplewood, Gladstone area in Maplewood.
Okay.
I live in North St. Paul right now.
All right.
And have for the last 14 years or so.
So you're very familiar with Maplewood then, and at least
Yep.
the Gladstone area for you know, going up there and hanging out there and stuff. So.
Yeah. Spent a lot of time down at Wakefield.
Okay. So what else do you do then? I mean, besides that?
Well, I was an air traffic controller. I worked for the FAA. I worked down in Farmington and also at the Crystal Airport. It was an amazing and intense experience. I just loved that job. It was fantastic. But since then,
well, that's a pretty stressful job, isn't it?
Yeah, people say that, yeah, but I just tell them that, you know, raising 4 boys is a little more stressful than that. I challenge them on that one.
Okay.
But that brings up my boys.
Yeah.
I do have 4 boys, yes,
Okay.
boys. I've been happily married for 14 years. My kids age range from 7 years on up. And there's a couple that play soccer for Oakdale, so we'll sneak in Oakdale in that area too. So I do visit there very early on Saturday mornings in the fall.
All right. So why are you running for Senate?
You know, I'm running for, there's something else I was going to tell you too, as far as what I've done. I did the work, I did the air traffic controller.
Okay.
Let me get back to that
All
real
right.
quick, and then I'll answer your next question. I've also, since then, have been really active in the community. I've been very involved with Cowan School, which is over on Margaret and South Avenue in North St. Paul.
All right.
I've been the PTA president there.
All right.
Another lady and myself were actually the ones that resurrected the Cowan Carnival after many, many years of it not being going. I'm still up there teaching advanced math classes for all of my kids on a volunteer basis. And I've done Cub Scouts up there. I've been a den leader. I've been their committee chair for years. I belong to St. Peter's and Catholic Church in North St. Paul.
Okay.
And I also volunteer teach for their faith formation classes up there as well. And I'm on their board of the faith formation board as well.
All right.
And way back when, before I was married, I was actually involved with the Maplewood Police Reserve, so I was a reservist there as well.
So you have a lot of Maplewood and North St. Paul ties. And St. Peter's is a pretty big church up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's a big one.
So you're an active person, you know, but I mean taking that leap to go from being involved in the community the ways you have, you know, as being a mom and a wife and you know, the school stuff and various work things, to run for Senate, you know, why would you do that?
That's a really good question.
It's a lot of work. I've ran for office, and you know, it's a lot of work, and it takes time away from some of the things that you know.
It takes a lot of time.
The family
and you know, they approached me. People from the community approached me and asked me to run. I had no intention of running. I wasn't thinking about running. They came to me and asked me to run. And I thought about that, and I talked it over with my family, and we decided that it was it would be a good opportunity to take what I know from the community and bring it to St. Paul and to represent there. I mean, that's the way government was designed originally.
Right.
Was, you know, way back in the colonial days. It was the store owner, it was the blacksmith, it was the hotel owner that would take time off from their daily lives and go represent the districts that they live in,
Right.
and go speak on their behalfs,
Uh-huh.
and then eventually go back to their day jobs. And so, in the spirit of how our government was originally designed, that's exactly what I am.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we don't see a lot of that anymore, and a lot of people are doing this as a full-time endeavor, and they become more policy wonks and more concerned about the special interests,
Yes.
and more concerned about the corporations and the unions rather than the individual rights. The individual rights and liberties seem to be pushed aside in this process.
Yeah, yeah, they tend to be. That tends to be the case in a lot of instances. I actually had a chance to take a look at campaign finance. It's actually available to anybody online, and that's one thing that would differ us, my opponent and I, is that I haven't taken any money from PACs, which is a political action committee.
Right.
And I get my money for my campaign from hardworking people like you, people we live next door to, and even some people that aren't working at all right now are still donating. Whereas if you look at my opponent's, where he's getting his money from, it's PAC after PAC after PAC after PAC. And I was out at a door knocking, and one of the people I ran into was a union guy, and I was conversing with him about, how many people you guys got on the bench right now. And he's like, oh, we got tons of people on the bench, and some of them have been there for over a year. There's just no work. And
and on the bench means you're sitting there waiting for a job that the union will supply.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they can't
because there's
meet
no
the
work.
demand. Yeah.
There's no work anywhere right now. But one of the things he said to me, which was really got me thinking, was, we gave money to my opponent, or not me. He and his union. His union gave money to his opponent, and he goes, they just don't give it to him out of the kindness of their hearts. They expect that if they have a question or they need an ear, that he's going to listen. And I thought, I personally do not want to be beholden to any special interest group because they gave me money.
Right.
And so I want to be able to get out of this election with my head held high and my morals intact.
Well, I think when some people says we give money, we expect them to listen is more of we expect them to do what we want them to do. But yet I find that a lot of them don't even want to listen. And I've had circumstances where serious issues regarding religious liberties, and both Senator Wigger and Senator Lilly, I mean, they'll talk to you, but that's as far as they'll take it. They won't. I haven't found them to lead on an issue, of significance, that it's meaningful, that touches people, touches parents in their day-to-day life. So they're more interested in what special interest is going to help them out to raise money and get reelected.
Yeah, and I guess I just don't have a lot to say. I don't want to be put in that position.
You don't want to be that way, or
Right. And on your, you brought up listening. That's one thing that my election or my position is that I'm going out and I'm listening to the people. I'm not doing a lot of the talking. I'm letting them talk to me. I want to know what they have to say, what is on their minds. And I've heard, and I've experienced this myself, where I've written into a legislature, a legislative person, or emailed them and told them how I was displeased about something or another, whatever bill it was. And I get an email back saying, oh, thank you for your support, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, not only did they not read it, they didn't even get the gist of it. And, I'm not blind to the fact that you're not going to get an email back personally every single time, but at least take the opportunity to say, okay, this one's against it, this one's for it. Let's look and see what we've got. What's public opinion here? And
Yeah.
I think they've lost touch with that.
And that what I really sent you was not supporting you.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, that's not good. And I can understand where mistakes would come in, but you know,
I've
when
heard
that's
that a
more
lot.
the norm,
Yeah,
that's not a good thing.
right.
So, well, you know, you're kind of out there hitting the streets and stuff. So, what do you think about campaigning? You know, how do you like it?
Well, you know, this TV stuff, talking in front of people, that's not my thing. I'm more of a doer than a talker. I'd rather get in there and get going and start solving the problems and working it and not spend a week talking about it. But this is a necessary evil, no offense.
What? How dare you? How dare you?
No,
that's
you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's quite all right. You know, it's something people have to get used to. And I remember when I ran the first time I did TV. Well, I did TV before I ran, but the first time I did TV, sitting there, yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking. And this is your first time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, you're doing fine.
Thank you.
But actually, I think you'll end up enjoying that part. Because you got to get your message out, and that's part of listening. That helps you end up doing. Although I know you, and you have a strong agenda and strong principles and values. So that will guide you through that process, and this type of thing will become old hat. Yeah, you just got to get used to it. So.
Yeah, but I've also been blessed, you know, with this campaign. I've got so many people, good people, that are helping me out. My family and my friends have been so supportive. They've been out there door knocking with me, trying to figure out the insanely crazy addresses on Century.